And good morning everyone. Let's get started on today's analysis. We are on EU as usual. So we have EU on the top, DXY on the bottom. This is the daily chart. So what's the daily chart showing us? Yesterday, Monday, we had a huge bullish engulfing. So now after taking that sell side liquidity from those previous lows here, we do look to be having some sort of bullish pullback. As I said, this is our bearish leg, right? And we've been quite bearish with momentum all last week. So we're probably due some sort of pullback towards some of these POIs we've left behind, such as the daily imbalance, or even more into the premium, this imbalance with the order block, right? So that's a long-term outlook. There is some news this week, so maybe we'll get there quicker than expected if we pull back. But it does look like we're having some sort of reaction from this discount area down here. Alright, and then as I said also, let me zoom out for a second on DXY. We've respected this daily order block, whereas on EU we obviously swept the low. So there's that SMC divergence, and that's kind of playing out now with that bearish price action. So DXY reflects the same. So far today we've taken the previous daily low on DXY, I believe, just barely. So I've already seen the lower time frame because I'm eyeing up a trade for this morning, so we'll see that. So we've swept the sell side liquidity and we're having a small bullish morning. So we'll see what that is doing. You can see that EU is being very bearish from there. So let's go down to the 4 hour. Let's have a look at that more closely. Coming from this discount, as I said, we started to make that internal structure. You can see here, high, high, low, high, 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 low. Now ultimately a very clear high, high, even on the 4 hour now. This is more 1 hour structure, but on the 4 hour, we can't deny from this discount, our internal legs have started to switch structure. As we can see, we've closed above. We still have this 4 hour last order block above, but we are actually already within the 4 hour order block. Though to fill the whole imbalance, I mark out the last order block as that last point of resistance, which we may fall into. So this is where I'd be looking at resistance, most likely, to possibly even continue the trend. Though, as we know, there's more POIs above, deeper into this bearish 4 hour leg here. So draw on price is still available above. We are having our bullish pullback towards that area, but we are already in a sort of resistance, having taken buy side liquidity as well and into this order block. So we'll see what that looks like more on a lower time frame, but just with this leg here, this mini 4 hour leg, more so a 1 hour bearish leg, you can see we've successfully started making high highs and high lows, possibly drawn towards this zone here. Now in regards to DXY, we have actually already pulled back into this order block here, as you can see there. So we're not quite exactly matched in terms of the POI, but what's more important to me this morning is the fact we swept that previous daily low. So that sell side liquidity is being used to produce some sort of bullish move here. This isn't live at the moment. I don't think that should be a bit more bearish, but we've reacted off the previous daily low nonetheless, and are possibly seeking out either buy side liquidity or to maybe fill this imbalance here. So we'll see what that looks like more in the 1 hour where it is moving live. So we can see what's sponsoring this bearish move here and this bullish move, just sell side liquidity there, and we are in this POI and we're in this POI here. So let's go down to the 1 hour. Let's see if we can clear things up in terms of bias. So let's go through some of this price action. Yesterday played out exactly as I thought it would. Unfortunately, no trades. We can see we had SMC divergence here where we had this low to a high low, whereas on DXY we had this high to a high high. Buy side liquidity swept, indicating that that buy side liquidity could be used for a bearish move, and EU refusing to make that lower low, showing strength, right? And it did, made that high high. So we had this high, high low, high high, high low, all the way into another high high here. That pullback order flow is clear now on the 1 hour. As I said above, we still got draws on price. We have a 1 hour order block within the 4 hour order block, but we have left behind an imbalance with an order block below here in a discount of this new bullish leg. So price could pull back down to this discount of this new leg here and this old leg before making its way up to here. We could do a very corrective pull back to this area here with the high lows and high highs. So we'll see how that works out, right? Possible draw on price here, draw on price here as well. Okay, so my bias is leaning towards maybe short-term bearish move this morning down into this area, just because our last hourly candle closed as a massive bearish engulfing. We have SMC divergence at the highs here, right, where we've refused to make that high. We didn't take our previous daily high like DXY took that previous daily low. Okay, so that sell side liquidity may produce that pullback up into this premium here on the DXY into this 1 hour order block, which would be the same as this 1 hour order block. So that's where my thinking's going, right? Just following the liquidity. Now that this previous daily low has been mitigated, price could pull back to more of a premium before possibly heading back down towards this 1 hour order block and 1 hour order block up here as well. So it's a bit of a, let's say 50-50. I think the confluences are there for us to go lower into this zone here, but we also have this draw on price above and we are fairly close to it. So there's those two possibilities. We have also filled this 1 hour imbalance here, which I've got with this line. However, we're in a premium still and we have discount draws on price. Price doesn't always pull back to a discount at this moment in time. It could come to this area first. So a bit of a mixed bias, but we'll go down, we'll see the lower time frame and we'll see what I'm looking at this morning to get into. Okay, so let's go down to the M15 and see what that looks like. So here's the M15 for this morning and I'll show you what I'm looking at. As you can see, and it's quite clear and obvious, we had a very big bearish breakdown and break of structure this morning, kind of following that Asia order flow, left behind a clear M15 order block. Okay, and we've had a sort of corrective pullback back up into the order block. Now I'll be using the last candle for entry here, so it may get missed, may not. It may pull back deeper to fill the actual full imbalance, right? These are all risks of the trade that to be aware of. So price has pulled back fairly correctively, possibly leaving inducement. Okay, we've broken structure. We have sort of rejected this 1 hour imbalance here, but not with too much momentum. So let's go through the confluences again. High time frame SMC, right, from this high to this lower high. We have the previous daily low sell side liquidity from DXY. DXY obviously has also broken structure, so no divergence there. We have the same M15 order block. Price has pulled back fairly corrective into it. Okay, so what I'm expecting, of course, is for price to come out from this area to head towards that premium, like I said, using that sell side liquidity as sponsorship, right? So we have M15 order block, M15 order block, high time frame SMC within a premium of the external leg also. Okay, we have a draw on price below in a discount where we've created a new bullish leg. So price could be drawn to fill this imbalance into this order block on the hourly to then come up to this draw on price. Now the negatives, what have I said? Draw on price above. Okay, so there's a draw on price above that price may just want to fulfill. And we are obviously bullish in our internal legs here. So this is an hourly bullish leg. So it's against trend. But this is what I'm looking at for this morning. My orders are set. I don't know if it's been triggered just now. It looks like it's just shy of it. So it may or may not be triggered, which would be very unfortunate if I get missed on this. So anyway, that's what I'm looking at this morning. Orders are set. We'll see what price does here, whether I've been missed or not. It seems to have swept those previous highs there. So let's move on. Right, so back to GJ here on the daily chart. What's the daily looking like? Well, it also played out in a bullish way. I expected some sort of bullish pullback after this massive bearish engulfing candle here, right? From a discount with a new lower low. So we'd have a clear bearish leg and we'd be in a discount after taking loads of sell side liquidity, right? So that pullback was quite expected. I can expect possibly more of a pullback, right? Because we've got this daily order block here and imbalance yet to fill. So we'd still be in a discount, I imagine, and would have a draw on price above where we may meet some resistance to go lower. So that's how I'm thinking with GJ as well, right? So daily we have this high, low, lower high, eventually a lower low, clear signs of resistance order blocks here, even on the daily, right? But we may be drawn towards those for the time being from this discount. So far today, previous daily high and lows still intact. Right, price is fairly bearish, but we'll have to see the lower time frame, what this is pulling back from, see if there's some support to go higher. So let's go down to the 4 hour. Right, so 4 hour obviously hasn't changed much. Bearish leg, discount, sell side liquidity. We're pulling back very correctively, as you can see. None of these candles are sized like these ones, right? So we're building liquidity, possibly a trend line, as we make our way possibly up towards this premium here. We may meet some sort of resistance maybe once we feel this imbalance completely up here, just above this equilibrium point. So I don't think we can see much here on the 4 hour, just that we're being fairly corrective. Still seems to be pulling back maybe towards that premium, but price has had some bearish price action this morning and yesterday. So we'll see if there's any support here or anything looking like price is due to head higher or not. So let's go down to the 1 hour. Let's see if that gives us more of a bias, because the 4 hour is in a bearish trend, but my bias would be to come from this discount to a premium. So let's see the hourly. So the hourly has a more complicated picture, of course. Again, this looks very corrective here. We've built up buy side liquidity at the highs as well. So I think the previous daily high and these highs are nearly all equal. However, above that is a 1 hour order block. So above all this buy side liquidity, if we make it there, that's a possible resistance point. Okay, so we could go even short from here. Now price is currently breaking down before then. So it does complicate it somewhat. We seem to have made some internal, there's a high, lower low here, right? Below this low. We'll see that maybe clearly on the M15, but you can see it here already. So we'll see if price is going to break down or not. I would prefer my sales from this order block here and preferably even more so up here. So I'd rather wait for this order block. We'll see how price goes with this, see if there's any continuations or not. All right, we're getting a lot of momentum. Okay, so we'll have to wait for that. But let's go down to the M15. Let's see what that looks like. But my bias is preferring obviously shorts following this trend, but it would be above this buy side liquidity and in this order block here. Okay, so price did create this overnight range here yesterday, and then now into the Asia session this morning we have broken down a couple times, right? We've got this momentum here, pulled back, mitigated this zone, broken down again, lower low below this low, pull back again very correctively up into this last order block here on the M15, and we seem to be respecting this order block. We've broken down again, broken down below this low here. This is obviously internal to this leg here, but it's obviously giving very good signs of price continuing to break down. Now, like I said, I would prefer some buy side liquidity taken. Previous daily high into this 1 hour order block would have been very clear. It would have been nice to have done something like this, right? Come up into there and then break down. This is my preference, okay, to do something like this. All right, leaving that order block behind there with a break of structure around this point here. Now this would still be my preference. However, I can't deny price looks like it may be breaking down and it could come back to this zone here and break down further and continue that, or not, it could just continue going. So we may get something along these lines. I think personally, I may wait for this just to continue. This buy side liquidity floating above and this hourly POI, I would prefer to be mitigated to do this. Now, if I'm going to ignore that, I think I'm going to wait for price to do something like this, right? Come up into this M15 order block, break down again, giving me a break of structure around this low here, if it forms it here, and then I'd get on into the continuation of that price action from here to go down. So I'll fix this up a little bit. So again, something like this, maybe I would look for if the continuation happens, rather than the pullback to the zone that I want. That M15 order block here, possible inducement from that there, and then set my order to go short here, stop loss just above the highs of course, and aim towards these lows here. So I think I would wait for this if this breakdown continues to happen without mitigating this zone. Otherwise, my preference would be up in this zone here somewhere after mitigating that 1 hour POI, and then breaking down from there from all this nice juicy buy side liquidity. So I hope that was clear. I hope you gained value from that. Any questions, let me know in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.